stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest in the building. Fabdon in the building. My guy. First of all, welcome to the show. How you feeling today, brother?
I feel great. I feel marvelous.
Love the Yankee fit.
I feel like I feel surreal a little. I ain't gonna lie.
You feel like a rapper today.
I feel like an artist.
feel like an artist today, man. How you been lately?
I've been, going through the motions.
Right.
With motion.
Right.
So I can't complain. I'm here.
Right.
I'm good.
We've been trying to. Well, we were supposed to do this at the end of 2023, but obviously some things happened.
Legal.
Not gonna get too deep into that. But I want to ask, how have you been mentally since having to fight these battles that you've been fighting off of social media and
trials and tribulations?
Yeah, the trials and tribulations.
Real life, other things that don't need to be posted.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's part of the game. I'm immune to it, and I got a lot of endurance with it now.
Yeah.
Like we not ever hoping for the worst, but we prepared for anything that goes down, and we just try to get growth and just grow to be better to avoid those situations, whether it's like changing your surroundings, changing your habits or whatever. So that's what it is, but it's time to get focused.
Have you been have you been taking those steps, like changing your surroundings, changing the habits, things like that?
Absolutely. I'm definitely learning from my mistakes. Definitely. It's not even a mistake at this point. It's a lesson.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm taking it, and I always feel like it's going to help me become who I'm becoming. You understand? Like, it provides me with endurance and just a understanding on what to do and what not to do because it's been done, opposed to not really touching it and, you're going to deal with it sometime in life. You understand what I'm saying? Whether you come across a rock, I'm pretty sure you've been stumbling across some rocks before, whether it's business, whether it's street stuff, whether it's family. Everything's not going to always be smooth, but you got to be smooth.
Right. Do you feel like now that you've gone through it a lot and you've had you've been working for, this music shit, right? You put some years in, like that maturity and kind of like that growth, do you feel like it's prepared you to deal with these trials and tribulations now versus like, let's say 5-6 years ago?
For sure. All right, look, I'm gonna give you like an example of how my mindset is. So boom, I feel like I got my first big break was when Chaz, which was like he's an American gangster from New York that used to manage like Foxy Brown and some other artists. He came and grabbed me and was managing me, and this was in 2012, 2013, like right before Chief Keef. Or like right before, it was like at the same time.
Before the drill wave and whatnot.
Yeah, before Bobby Smurda.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I feel like if I would have blew up at that time, then I would have had to deal with it later. I would have had to deal with it later while they was dealing with it. Like, you get what I'm saying? But I learned from my mistakes, so or like how artists is dealing with it right now. Like Chef G, and Casanova, and all that. Like, I know once I get in position to not even play with that because I've been through it already. I got indicted already. So that's a example of me learning from my mistake and being able to use it towards the way I'm trying to go.
Right.
And accomplish. Like I really study the game. I really feel like Jay-Z and people like 50 Cent and Master P got on at the age that they was at was because of their experience. They was older. Bobby was young. You heard? A lot of people was young. TK was young. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I look at it as like, I just take notes and I shouldn't be doing it. It shouldn't be repeated. Right. One and done.
Because, like you see things that happen online and, you mentioned a couple people, you mentioned like Kaz and all them and kind of like what they went through. And, you hope that artists will learn to not make those mistakes. But, of course, like oftentimes, like, there's always more mistakes that get made, and it's about kind of like seeing those. But what you want to do is like you want to see from those things. You want to see those things, learn from those things, and then
we gotta change. You gotta take accountability first.
That's true. Yeah.
You gotta understand like it's you and what you doing and not to do. You can't. As long as you keep on blaming the world or getting mad at everybody else except for you, or you trying to change everything else except for yourself, then you're not gonna really get nowhere, and you could expect to go down those same roads again.
Right, right. Well, I'm glad you're in a better place now, bro.
Facts.
I gotta say, we were talking about you're from the block very briefly, but I love you're from the block, right?
Appreciate
like,
that.
You and Stars, and we're gonna get Star up here eventually. A little sick right now, but you and Stars were some of my favorites of last year because one, they were just so New York. You know what I'm saying?
It was special.
Very special.
They was
right?
both
how many
special.
how many 50 beats did you do?
22.
Crazy.
The whole album, the extended version of Give a Shot Trying. Not the version that go up to Wingster or something, but he got two versions. He got the extended version, he got the regular version. I did the whole shit.
So how do you approach doing something like that? Because that is like not an easy thing to do in and of itself, just off the rip.
It's one of those things where it's like, I gotta do something different. Then it's another one of those things where like I gotta represent where I'm from. And then it's another one of those things where it's like, I gotta do it different. You know,
Right.
I can't just put the song out or just do it on freestyle. I feel like nobody ever been on From the Block and did a whole album. I feel like nobody ever did a 50 Cent whole album on the same block he from. I feel like, nobody never did none of that. So that's all that came to my mind when I was doing that. And I like other things too, like I know my target audience is not where I'm from, but I know that's where I'm from. So I know they're gonna gravitate towards it more to push it out. But also in my mind is saying like, everybody knows these beats. It's like a cheat code somehow, like when you go to do shows at open showcases or whatnot, it's good to freestyle before you do your main song.
Yeah.
I'm dropping gems. That's what my manager told me 10 years ago. You do somebody else's beat and they hear the beat, they automatically bopping because the beat. They're not even really listening to what you're saying, but you got them. And now you do yours.
Yeah.
So it's just like that was for my project, you heard? That was just to get them towards my project.
That shit was tough. Dontroversy.
Dontroversy,
Out
facts.
now?
Out now on all platforms, everywhere.
Check that out. What was the intent for you behind Dontroversy? And kind of like, obviously the play on the title of controversy and, even me thinking about some of the things you've been through, those trials and tribulations, those taking accountability, learning your lessons, so on and so forth. How did you approach this project in that respect too?
With the same exact strategic mindset as far as like, when they ask you what sells, I ask people what sells, and they got their answers, but it's a common answer. And the common answer is sex and controversy.
Right.
Nothing really else. Like, and I'm thinking that, I'm like, all right, controversy sells. Then I'm thinking my name, Fabdon, Dontroversy, let me get a title that's gonna be special and unique. And then I just think about my life, like I'm talking about records like I shot myself. That's something to talk about. I'm talking about records like God Bro. That's a famous block Supreme and 50 Cent is from. And I'm from. I can still go on that block right now, like despite where I'm at, who I am in life. And Matt records like Rob the Pastor. That was on the news, and I feel like that's something that calls for controversy. So I just put it together in that aspect, and I just went with the whole newspaper newspaper theme for it, and just made it into something, a complete project.
Do you feel like this album helped you put all those things that happened to you behind you finally?
I feel like it been behind me. No, I can't say that. I do feel like that. I agree with you. I kind of do feel like I touched a lot of topics and let a lot of things be out that I don't want to have to touch again, like how I shot myself, or why I shot, like what happened, the story. You don't gotta ask me no more. Nobody else could say it and try to ball me. You heard, like I. So that's one of the songs, and I don't want to have to keep on reminding them where I'm from. So that's another song.
It's one of those things where it's like. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, if you want to know what happened, just go listen to the music.
Yeah.
Stop asking me.
Facts. That's exactly what it is.
Because I'm sure you're tired of people asking you anyway on top of all that.
Yeah. Facts. I don't really get tired of it, but it's just like, it's annoying. You're right.
Right. But, I also wanted to, obviously being from Queens and being such an important part of like the culture in Queens and whatnot, I wanted to ask, like, we've seen like these past couple years with like Brooklyn and the Bronx, everything going on and how everything has really taken off. What do you feel is like Queens' place in at least the New York music scene right now? Like, what are your kind of overall thoughts about it? Because I'm curious, because I feel like you would have some good insight.
For the most part, I feel like Queens is waiting for their big moment, and they just gonna have their rush, just like Brooklyn had their rush, the Bronx had their rush, and I feel like Queens rush is just gonna be one of those rushes where it's like something big, like a 50 Cent, a Nicki Minaj. You might get a whole Mobb Deep, you might get a whole G Unit. You don't know what you're gonna get, but you're gonna get something big and something crazy from Queens, and it's gonna be dominant to the point where it's like they talking about New York and Queens. Like at the time they was talking about New York and Brooklyn, then they talk about New York and Bronx. It's very like, although it's New York, it's segregated as far as like when it comes up to the politics.
Absolutely.
As far as like Bronx got their thing going, and Brooklyn got their thing going. Queens got their thing going. It may not be on the as turned up side as Brooklyn and the Bronx, but if you know, you know.
Right.
You heard?
And I feel like throughout history, like even when, Queens was, you had like the 50s and whatnot, like there's always been like that level of like, you get like the music scenes that exist in these periods of times. There is still influence that comes from Queens that other people take from and incorporate into their music too.
Absolutely. Samples, connections, Queens is still making a name. I just feel like for the underground circuit, but Nicki Minaj just dropped the album that's
right,
that they talking about breaking records. We watch 50 Cent every Sunday, and he got a record with Nicki Minaj, and like we mentioned, Action Bronson, Lloyd Banks, Lil Tecca is actually like one of the hottest artists out.
Absolutely, people be forgetting that Tecca from out there too.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I said we recognize it. But I just feel like they just thriving for something raw. You heard, they thriving for something more, street savvy.
Yeah,
more like from that element, because that's what's really going on in the hip hop world right now. As far as like it's in a very aggressive state, opposed to a softer side with drill,
right.
with drill, especially from in New York. It's in a very aggressive state. I don't feel like we've been too like on the downside of things, But Lil Tecca is definitely like making noise for his audience though. That's not like so street though.
Right. Right. It's a great insight. I like that. That was a beautiful answer. I don't think I could have put I don't think I could have put it better any other way.
Nah, shout out Lil Tecca. Definitely making putting Queens on the radar. He was up here?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, you gotta get
I met Tecca
up
like twice, but I haven't gotten to do nothing with Tecca yet. One day though, it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you because you also made a great point. Like you said, we watch 50 on Sundays with Power and do all the other books. Like and even you were kind of talking about like the future and what you want to do. Like where does Fab go outside of the music? Like do you have other plans? We've seen like shout out Ox. Ox got the deli in Queens now. Go check that out. The viral salmon chopped cheese sandwich. Go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try that shit too. I ain't gonna lie.
That shit fire. I'm not gonna lie. That's my go-to right there.
It's fire for real.
I damn near made that shit hot. Like I was there when they opened up and I got that shit. And I did a little video and all that, but that shit hot though. That
Keith Lee was wilding a little bit.
Huh?
Keith Lee was wilding a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Shout out Ox. But with you, like, where do you see yourself outside of the music with this? Like what else do you like? What else do you want to accomplish? Like, where else do you want to be at?
Honestly speaking, I just shot I dropped the Rob the Pastor video. I debuted a little acting, I got a whole like scene where it's like we're acting, Rob and the Pastor and everything. And I definitely want to get into that acting.
Okay, acting.
I'm trying to work on like, expanding from merch to like a clothing brand as well too, because I'm into fashion. So that's something I could definitely see me touching. And I want to grab an artist. I've been saying this for the past 5 days. I want to get 20K and go to one of these broke drill artists. Because a lot of drill artists, they be getting 1 million views and only got $100 in their pocket.
That's a fact.
$200 in their pocket. And, I seen it and I want to do that. Being I'm a little older, and I got connections and definitely want to get into that and create like a label. But that's so far that's like forefront. Fashion, acting, and just becoming a whole mogul. Grabbing some artists, helping the next person.
Right. Kind of bringing it back. You know? Pay it forward.
Facts.
Pay it forward. So what else? Okay, so aside from that music, where are we going from here? Dontroversy out now. Go check that out.
Dontroversy out now. Fabdon home. home. We working, and you gonna see like what I'm gonna do here is gonna show you where we going from here. Cause everything that I don't just do nothing. Like everything, like if you've been talking to me and you understand my mindset, it's always strategic. So it's just I'm always gonna come. You don't even gotta ever worry about what's next.
Yeah.
Or don't worry about how long. Just know it's coming and it's gonna be different. Like Fabdon is on my birth certificate. I ain't wake up and choose this name. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I gotta be different. I gotta make it stand for something, make it count for something.
Word, man. Well, look,
Every
bro.
little thing. But you could get used to this face though. They could get used to this face, and I'm not coming to be friends really. I love everybody. I'm a Cancer. I love everybody, but don't get it confused. When I get in my bag and I do what I gotta do,
Yeah. It's over.
Fabdon Gadron.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you being here. By the time the people see this, freestyle out now, go run that up.
Yeah.
Dontroversy, the album, out now. More music on the way.
Dontroversy 2 coming soon.
Dontroversy 2 on the way. There you go. Before we get up out of here, bro, anything else you want to let the people know where they can follow you at, all that good stuff? Now it's time to do it. This camera on the right here.
Fabdon _TDF on Instagram. Stay tapped in with me right there. You know, just stay tapped in and just follow this journey. This ain't nothing to be played with. You know, and that's it. Appreciate you, Gabe, for having me.
Yep.
You know, I've been seeing this man outside, and he ain't never tell me nothing that was short of his promise. You heard? He stood on it. Got me up here. You can't pay to get up here. You got to be really one of them. You heard?
Appreciate you, bro.
It's not the platform for that. Appreciate you. Proud of you, bro.
Thank you, man. Well, look, make sure you go check out that freestyle. Make sure you go follow him. Go run up Dontroversy. Dontroversy 2 on the way by the time you see this.
Facts.
If you're watching this when it's out, go run that up. Go show him some love. Go show him support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all already knew that. Till next time.
Queens get the money.
Queens get the money. Fabdon on the radar. We out.
Let's go.
My God. Love.